Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well. If you watched my AliExpress haul I posted the other day, you would have seen I got these new polygels. These are luminous polygels, so they glow in the dark. And today I was basically going to swatch them, see what they're like, see how easy they are to work with, and also test out how they glow as well. Okay, so these polygels I bought off AliExpress. They cost me £1.87 each. They are in 15ml tubes by a brand called Full Beauty, and it says acrylogel, which is obviously polygel, and they're luminous. They had a very large selection of different colours and everything. I've only bought 5. I sort of tried to get like one of sort of each colour, but they did have a couple of like blue, but like different shades of blue. So I've just sort of grabbed a couple here to try out, because my last experience with polygel from AliExpress wasn't very good. These particular bottles, like they're tiny little bottles, and they were just impossible to work with. I did try to do a video on them, and it was that bad a video that I just never bothered posting it. Like, these polygels here are meant to be like opaque, bright, vibrant colours, and they're just not. They're really sheer, really horrible, and they're impossible to work with. Just literally completely and utterly impossible. Like, I've tried quite a few different polygels at this point, and these ones are literally just impossible to work with. So if you see any tubes of polygel like this, I personally wouldn't recommend them. But I am hoping that today these ones will be better. I'm hoping they're going to be fine to work with, and I'm hoping they're going to glow really bright, and I'm hoping they're just going to be utterly awesome. So I'm going to dive straight in and start cracking open these tubes. So I have just base coated some swatch sticks already, and I'm going to dive straight in with this one, which is number 7, which is blue. I'll pop an image up on the screen with each polygel so you guys can sort of see what the advertisement picture looks like, and we can sort of compare it against real life. So they are sealed, which I do appreciate, because these little bottles also come with no seal on them, which I found a bit weird. These ones have got a seal on them, which is good. It does look like a nice blue colour, so I'm actually just going to go straight in. I'm going to squirt some onto my swatch stick. Okay, and I'm literally just using IPA. It's like a rubbing alcohol for this as my slip solution. Although I've just realised that even though I've cleaned off my brush, it's still got bits of glitter in. Love that. So straight up, I can say it's a really like stiff polygel. Like if you've tried polygels with glitter already in them, they tend to be quite stiff, and this has sort of got like a very similar consistency to them. Even though obviously it hasn't got no glitter in it, apart from the glitter that's just come off my brush, because apparently I've done an awful job of cleaning off my brush. I swear I did actually try to clean it before using it, but somehow it's still got glitter in there. I've just like completely killed this brush as well, by the way. But I like the consistency of that, because the other ones that I bought from AliExpress were like really runny and stupidly sticky. Like, no matter what I'd done, like I tried all sorts to make them work, and they just wasn't. They were just really bad. I tried a couple of the colours that I bought, and then I've just sort of put them to the side. I've not touched them again since, because they really were just that bad. And I think I've also been a bit tight with the polygel there. But I'm going to put that in the lamp anyway, and then I'll give it a little bit more. Okay, so I have just put a little bit more in there. I always find that I end up putting too much polygel on quite a lot of the time. So I'm sort of trying to sort of teach myself not to be too over the top with it all. I do like the consistency of this though. I prefer sort of stiffer ones. I just find like they're easier to work with. Like, it's not too sticky at all. Like, I actually really do like the consistency of that. I think it's really nice. I think it's a matter of personal preference. Like, some people might not get on with the stiffer ones, but I do generally prefer the stiffer ones. But like, polygel's still like relatively new to me anyway. I've not done a huge amount of polygel. Okay, so that is the colour of that one. It's a really bad swatch on my behalf there, but I would say that it's very, very, very close to the advertisement picture. It's definitely got a nice sort of light blue tinge to it. But I'm just going to whack that in the lamp and cure it. Right, okay, let's go in with number 5, which is meant to be this sort of colour here. And yeah, I'll definitely say that looks like the right sort of colour to what's on the advertisement picture. They really are extremely thick. It might be because they're cold as well. Like, if you put them in a cup of like warm water or something, it should soften them up a bit as well, make them a little bit easier to work with if you aren't a fan of stiff ones. Like I said, I do quite like the stiff ones, so for me it's not an issue. But if you would prefer for your polygel to sort of be a bit less stiff, then yeah, just whack it like, obviously in the tube, but like in a cup of warm water for a few minutes, and it should soften it up, just warm it up a bit. But yeah, I do like the colour of this one. I've got a couple of polygels that's sort of this colour actually, but they're not glow in the dark. But I will show you guys them all glowing towards the end of the video, because it's actually in the middle of the afternoon as I'm filming this right now, but I'm actually home alone at the minute, so it seemed like a good opportunity to quickly do some swatches of these while I've got some peace and quiet, and then later on, once it's actually dark, I will show you them glowing and just see what they're like. I'm hoping they're going to glow really well, because I'm really excited to use them on my own nails. I love glow in the dark nails. I'm like a big kid in that sense. It's a big novelty to have glow in the dark nails, so I just like lay there in bed at night staring at my nails, because I'm just like that. And I think it would be cool to have some glow in the dark nails for Christmas as well. I'm actually going to be putting up the Christmas decorations with the kids tomorrow. It's Friday when I'm filming this. I don't know when I'm putting this video out, but it's currently Friday the 27th, I think. So yeah, tomorrow I'm going to get the decorations out with the kids. We're going to bake some cupcakes and shortbread and gingerbread men, and just have a full on sort of Christmassy day, which I'm sure they're going to be well excited for. I'm just already feeling Christmas much this year, but hopefully tomorrow I get a bit more of the Christmas spirit. But yeah, that's that one anyway. It's definitely quite pink, and yeah, again, another awful swatch from me, but it's definitely true to the advertisement. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with this one, which is 09. This one is meant to be sort of like a pale sort of minty green colour, so I'm excited to see what that's like, because I do not have any green polygel. And yeah, there's definitely a nice minty green. You'll have to ignore the state of my hands as well, by the way. The winter is brutal on my hands. And I do moisturise them regularly, believe it or not, but they are so dry and so red. It's horrible. I do find it quite embarrassing how bad my hands get actually, but I just haven't really found the perfect thing for them yet. Like, my skin's really sensitive anyway, and I've got to be really careful about what I use. I probably really should be wearing gloves for a video like this, but I hate gloves as well, and it's just, yeah, it's hard work. But my hands just look really red and really dry at the minute, so I do apologise about that. But it's just part of being me. I do try to wear gloves sometimes, but I just find them a little bit more awkward to do things with when I've got gloves on. So one thing, if this polygel was a little bit runnier, it would be a bit easier to smooth out. So that's one good thing about having a runnier polygel, I suppose. But like I said, a lot of it I think it's just simply because it's cold, so they're just a bit stiffer than what they probably normally are. But the temperature's been dropping quite a bit here. I think last night it was only 2 degrees. And I've been waking up to a very frosty car in the mornings, and it's definitely getting cold very quickly. I'd love a white Christmas, but like down here in Cornwall we don't really tend to get a lot of snow anyway. And we didn't get any snow last year, I don't think. The year before that and the year before that we did, so I think it's more like January, February time that snow come. But it's like super rare to actually get a decent like snowfall in Cornwall. But I do love the snow. I love going out in the snow with the kids. I just love how pretty everything looks. Okay, so yeah, that's that one anyway. I'm gonna put that on the lamp. Okay, and then we got this one, which is number 8. By the looks of the picture, this is meant to be like a white. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like. So it's sort of got like a sort of orangey sort of tone there. But we will see. Yeah, so I definitely wouldn't say that's white. It's more sort of like an off-white sort of creamy colour. Okay, let's go with that. Yeah, that's not white at all actually. Seeing that on the swatch stick is actually kind of a gross colour. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know, it looks like a dirty cream, and I don't think I like that much, unfortunately. I just couldn't see me using that personally. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that one. See that colour. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that at all. It's just, yeah, I'd say it's like a dirty cream. That's just not really for me. Okay, the last one is number 10, which is kind of like another pink shade. So let's crack this one open and see what it's like. I think I'm getting out much better amounts now, so it's just obviously making my life a bit easier. I don't know, polygel was definitely one of the easier things to work with, without a shadow of a doubt. I don't know, sometimes my application is just a bit off. So far though, I do really like these polygels. Like I said, they are thick, but I think it's just because it's cold. But with polygel, like I said, if it's too thick, whack it in a cup of like hot water for a few minutes. That'll help loosen it up and make it a bit more runnier. And then also if it's too runny, like whack it in your freezer for a few minutes. Not too long, because then you make it too stiff. I've done that. I've put it in the freezer to sort of stiffen it up a bit. Like during the summer, my polygel was like getting really hot, so I whacked it in the freezer probably for about 10 minutes. It ended up being way too stiff. I couldn't get any other cheap. So literally just like whack it in there for literally like a minute or two, and it'll just cool it down and just thicken it up if you need to thicken it up at all. But just some polygels, the consistency of them is just awful no matter what you do. But these ones, I do like them. I do really like the consistency. They're not too weird and sticky. And yeah, I'm not complaining at all so far. I'm complaining about the swatches, about Shadow of Doubt, but otherwise, so far, they're alright. So I'm just going to cure that, and then I suppose the next step is to see how they glow. Okay, so this is the number 7, I believe it is. This is the bluey sort of toned one. Definitely glowing. I've literally just whacked these underneath my UV lamp for like 60 seconds. And it's definitely glowing. Obviously that's fading pretty quickly compared to how bright it was a moment ago, but yeah, looking good. We've got number 10, this sort of like the pinky coloured one, definitely looking quite nice and bright. We've got number 5, obviously they're all glowing the same colour, like there's literally no colour difference really between all them. Number 9, and then lastly number 8. So yeah, obviously there's like no colour difference, they all sort of glow in the same colour, but that's to be expected. And obviously like the intensity of the glow does die down pretty quickly, but that's just standard of glow in the dark stuff. But they're definitely glowing, like without a shadow of doubt they are glowing. So yeah, I'm happy enough with them. They're definitely glowing, they're cool. That's what I wanted. I wanted to make sure that they like glowed properly, because that's sort of the whole high point of these really, isn't it, is the glowing part. And they definitely do glow, they definitely do look pretty awesome. But yeah, overall I'm really happy with the colours of these polygel. I've actually had a double check on AliExpress, and there is 12 different colours available of this range, which I think is very good. There's good variation. You've got a couple of different shades of pink, you've got a couple of different shades of purple, orange, blue, you've got the green one, and then you've got this colour here which I don't like. I'm really not a fan of that colour whatsoever. Otherwise I really like these colours, I think they're gorgeous. But that particular one there I just think is such an ugly colour, and I personally wouldn't wear that on my nails. But otherwise I'm really happy with this polygel. It definitely glows, it's really easy to work with. Like I said, I think a lot of it is just because my polygels were cold, but regardless they were still easy to work with, nice and firm, and I liked them. Like I said, the last sort of polygel that I bought off AliExpress was literally, couldn't work with it at all. It was awful. There's just no words to describe how awful it was, and it wasn't opaque either. Like these are definitely opaque, whereas the other stuff was like jelly. It was weird, even though they was meant to be opaque. So I'm happy with these. Like I said, they're in a 15ml tube for £1.87, which I think is fine. I did think they were 30ml tubes, but I must have misread that, or I don't know. But regardless, I think they're still pretty cheap for what they are, and I'm definitely happy with them, and I definitely would recommend them without a shadow of a doubt. So I will leave these linked in the description box anyway if you'd like to purchase some yourself. To me they're definitely a good deal. Like, I do apologise for my rough application and everything there, but they are good polygels. Without a shadow of doubt they're fine. I can't really fault them, so yeah, I'm very happy. But anyways, I hope you've all enjoyed this little review. I do apologise if it's all over the place again. I feel like I'm forever saying that, but some days my videoing is just awful. But yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed. If you have, please give me a like and also subscribe. Getting so close to my 1k now, which is super exciting. But yeah, anyways, enjoy your day, whatever you're doing. Much love to you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!